India relief features. So in the ninth class, you had read about latitudes and longitudes. So the longitudes especially to locate the places and also to calculate the time. The longitudes were used and the question of time and travel. So now we are going to discuss about the India and relief features. So first of all, we'll come to know that the India lies in the northern hemisphere. So the exact location of India, the latitudes and longitudes, 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes the east longitude, and 8 degrees 4 minutes north latitude to 37 degrees 6 minutes north latitude. And also we have taken one IST, means Indian Standard Time. It was the 82.5 degrees, means 82 degrees 30 minutes east longitude taken as standard meridian, which passes through the Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh. So Allahabad has a new name, that is Prayagraj. Now between the distance between the east and the west and north and south. So first north to the south, there are 3214 kilometers, and the east to west or west to east 2933 kilometers. It is the distance between the four directions. And geological background. So the earth, you learn about the earth formation in the 9th class book, and now we are going to discuss about the India. So the formation of Himalayas. The India belongs to that Gondwana land. The Indian peninsula was the part of Gondwana land. The Indian plate moved towards the northeast and collided with the Eurasian plate. With this collision, the immense and compression force, the mountains evolved through the folding process over millions of years. So these are called, means the present form of these Himalayas. The Himalayas is a result of this process. And the breaking of northern corners of the peninsular plateau led to the formation of a large basin. The major relief divisions of India. The relief features of Indian landmass can be divided into six groups. There are Himalayas, the Indo-Gangetic Plain, the Peninsular Plateau, the coastal plains, the desert, the islands. So first we'll discuss about the Himalayas. The Himalayan ranges, they were run west to east direction in the form of like an arc. The distance is between west to east about 2400 kilometers, and width of these Himalayas, it's a different in different direction. Means in the western regions it was about 500 kilometers of width. In the central and eastern region it was about 200 kilometers. So it is broader in the western region. There are also altitudinal variations across the regions. So Himalayas comprise the three parallel ranges. These ranges are separated with the deep valleys and extensive plateaus. The northernmost range, so among the three parallel ranges, the northernmost range is known as Greater Himalayas, and also it is called as Himadri. This range is the most continuous, consisting of the highest peaks with the average elevation about 6,100 meters. It was about above mean sea level, 6,100 meters. And these greater Himalayas are composed of snow and ice cover because they all are high altitude region, over 6,100 meters average elevation. So you will find here all the glaciers and frozen regions. And the seasonal cycles of accumulation of ice and movement and melting of glaciers are the sources of perennial rivers. You know already that perennial rivers means the rivers which flow throughout the year or rain-fed and the melting of snow. So these are called the Greater Himalayas. And the other one, the second one, in the south of Greater Himalayas, they called Lesser Himalayas, and also it named as Himachal. So these Lesser Himalayas, they were composed mainly highly compressed rocks. The average elevation means height ranges of these Lesser Himalayas from 3700 to 4500 meters. And in this Lesser Himalayas, the Pirpanjal and Mahabharata ranges are important ranges in this Lesser Himalayas. And also the Lesser Himalayas, the ranges that consist of famous valleys in Kashmir, Kangra, Kulu in Himachal Pradesh. These all the famous valleys which belongs to the Lesser Himalayas. And some important hill stations also, so like Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet, etc. And the next southernmost range of Himalayas means the third one, it is called Shivaliks. So these Shivaliks are extend over width of 10 to 50 kilometers. The altitudinal variations between 900 to 1100 meters. And these ranges are called by different names in different regions. In Jammu Kashmir, it named as Jammu Hills. And in Arunachal Pradesh, it called as Mishmi Hills. In Assam region, they were called as Kachar Hills. So these parts consist that thick gravel and alluvium. The valleys lying between the Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks called dunes. So dunes are, so some of the dunes called Dehradun, Kotli Dune, Patli Dune. In Arunachal Pradesh, beyond the Dehang Valley, the Himalayas take hairpin bend to the south. So this river will act as eastern boundary of India and run through the northeastern states. These divisions are known as Purvanchal. Means these all hills are consist that they were composed of sedimentary rocks and stones. So regionally there are different names are there for Purvanchal hills. These Purvanchal are also known as in Patka Hills, Naga Hills, Manipuri Hills, Khasi and Mizo Hills. So now the Himalayas, the influence of Himalayas on Indian climate. So the formation of Himalayas, they will influence the India's climate in various ways, because the mountains with the average elevation it is more than 6000 meters with altitude that they act as barriers, means they were protecting a great plains of India from cold winds which blow from the Central Asia during winter season. And the same, the Himalayas are the reason for summer rains and monsoon type of climate in regions that or beyond the Western Ghats of India. So you know already in the Western Ghats we will see that heavy rainfall compared with other regions. So Himalayas also one of the cause or reason for summer reason and monsoon type of climate during winter season, because the winds, the monsoon winds, southwest monsoon winds will take return because of Himalayas. The Himalayan rivers have perennial flow. Since these are fed by the glaciers, they bring a lot of silt and making these plains are very fertile. Because of melting of snow, the rivers which originated from the Himalayas, they flow throughout the year. and also they bring that silt, a lot of silt to the plains. They become that very fertile land.
If you like the video, please subscribe my channel and share to your friends.